Sean here from Kayak Flyer. I have an Oasis dubbing table. I have never made a dubbing brush, and I've certainly never made a dubbing brush on this table. I watched a short video that Rick put out that explained how this works, and so today I'm going to make my first dubbing brush, and I'm going to talk to you about this dubbing table while I try and do it. So the camera work's going to be up and down as I go through some of these things, simply because I've never done it, and this is a wider video than I normally take, so bear with us. If you like the channel here on YouTube, be sure to download the podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're Kayak Flyer. You can email us, kayakflyerpodcast@gmail.com. We've had some really great guests lately, and we keep having even better and better guests. So I invite you to do that. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. It really helps us out. So with that being said, we're going to try and pan this down so you can see a little bit more of how this works. And so what we've got is we have a removable table. It's got a light side and a dark side. Holds everything together, and it just slides right up under everything and in. It's not a drop-away table. I've seen a lot of those guys do drop-away tables. Now, to get this started, I just have some it's 200 feet of stainless steel 316 wire and 32 gauge, and I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to hold it here, and then I'm just going to spin that wheel. And I don't know if you got to see that or not. Let me swing over a little bit more, or just bring this over here. There's a big wheel on here, and there's a big wheel and a small wheel, and you just spin it. I spin it towards me because that feels more natural. I probably should have spun it away. Once I do that, I'm going to bring this wire back down to the other end, and this end, the hook is facing down. You can see I can turn it with the handle to make it face up. I've got it facing down, and I'm just going to hook it underneath there, and then there's a set of washers over here on this side that I can just pull that down and it will hold my wire. So one of the great things about this is there is actually a ruler down here, so I can measure my stuff that I'm going to put in here, my materials. I'm going to be using some Congo hair by Fly Tyers Dungeon and gold stone. One, I don't use the gold stone that often, so I'm gonna experiment with it, and then I may even throw in some Fly Tyers Dungeon legs. So this is going to be an experiment for me, and hopefully something that you will enjoy and think about. Oasis Benches, oasisbenches.com if you're thinking about buying a dubbing table. I'm not gonna lie, these are really nice, and everything I've seen about them, they all look like they work really well, and so there is a little bit of a price there. Now, from what I've read, I've got about eight inches of material I can, about 8 inches of material I can cut off here per shank. So I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to do 3.5 inches, and I'm going to use this ruler, and this is really a nice feature that I can just set this down. I can come in here and find my 3.5, and I can just clip right there. And I'm not quite sure how long a dubbing brush should be. That seems like at 3.5 inches, that seems like once it gets wrapped up, it'll be all right. I may want to go down to 2 inches. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've not done this. So we're just going to do this very lightly. Take it down to 3.5 inches. We'll take this one down to 3 inches. We'll just make it a little bit brushier and just move that in and out of there. So I've got a couple of sections cut. I'm going to take my dubbing wax, and I'm going to wax my line. Helps if you have it pulled out. I'll wax my line here, my metal. Like I said, I've never done this before, so you guys are along with me here on the ride, and so I'm just going to space some of this out. A couple of longs here and there. I probably should have gone with the darker side, but that's okay. space out some longs, space out some shorts. Like I said, I'm going to look at all this and figure out what I think is the best once I spin it up, because I've never done this before. We'll put some of the mediums in there. And that's all I'm going to do to try this out the first time, simply because I don't know. I'm going to stretch these out. If this works, I'll use this to tie a couple of game changers maybe. Or honestly, it may just be an experiment to try and see how it works. Now, once I've got this done, I take my wire, and it's in the washer over here, and I'm just going to bring this back up to this side. I'm going to hook it, and again on this end, move this over a little bit more. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a spin towards me and just barely put tension on that, and that should be enough to hold it. And then I'm going to take my little cheap wire cutters, and I'm going to cut this wire. Now I am going to move this back so we can still see what we're doing. This just comes out and down, just like that, and there is my material. And since I started spinning this toward me, I'm just going to spin it toward me some more. And wow, I've never made a dubbing brush before, but it looks like that's sort of how they're made. It's like I said, this is a test. I'm just doing it sort of sparsely. I can sit here and comb out things as I go. I ordered the wire on Amazon. I know there's a lot of, ooh, that didn't work good. I know there's a lot of places you can order wire from. I thought I could buy it at my local hobby store, but they didn't have it. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this some more. And as that spins, there's a spring on this other end, and I can't see it real well. There's a spring right here. As I spin this, the faster and faster I spin this, and then I come in here and comb this out a little bit. That actually doesn't look horrible. I may be able to tie up a small bait fish with a piece of that. That would be amazing if I could use my very first one. That really would be more than I bargained for whenever I thought I'd try it for the first time. But this spring will move in as you get tighter and tighter. And there's a smaller handle on this side where you can spin it even faster. But yeah, that looks like I could wrap a 1/0 hook and make a nice bait fish for a bass, which I've got some of the Fly Tying Benches fish heads, and I may take one of the Fly Tying Benches MS hooks in a size 1, and I may just wrap that up. We may have to do a follow-up video while I'm doing that. But this is looking really good. I don't know what your experience, how experienced you are with these dubbing brushes, but I am really liking that. I'm liking it a lot, and I have no idea how much I need to spin this. That's the weird thing, is I'm so new to this, and this is just oddly satisfying, I think is how they say it. I've got another brush here I can use. Feel free to leave me tips and pointers down here, as I am brand new to this dubbing brush experience. I really am. But I thought about making my own table, and I'm not a woodworker. I'm really not. I hate to say it, I really am bad at it. But this, you know, for the amount of money we spend on fly rods and everything else, I don't know why, you know, the old adage, you spend $92 to save $7.50. And like I said, for as sparsely as I did this, I'm actually going to have something that I think I'm going to be able to use and make a decent little bait fish pattern. And I'm going bass fishing tomorrow, and I really think I can wrap this up and make a pretty snazzy little fly. I think that's, and I'm not sure if I'm wrapping it or brushing it wrong. You just let me know. Like I said, I've never done this before, so you're learning with me. I feel sort of like Bob Ross when I say that. We're all here together. No mistakes, only happy accidents. But it is looking quite good. So I guess once I get done and I'm wrapped here and here, I mean, I'm really wrapped, and I think I'm going to keep that just like that. And I'm going to tie this in, and I'm going to wrap that body of that fly. I guess I'll tie it in backwards and wrap it forward, and that way I've got a more of a taper. But I actually think I'm going to use this. I'm going to be interested in trying it with the rubber legs. But man, that was really simple. Just to make something to tie a little bait fish with. And like I said, had I known what I was doing, I could have made it 17 inches long and then wrapped as many of them as I wanted to, cut them to the same length. So, you know, play with it, figure out what length you like, figure out how you like it. You know, it's all comes down to what you think and what you like and how you want to do it. But you know, Oasis Benches, Oasis Fly Tying Benches, oasisbenches.com. Rick's a great guy. He was on the podcast. You can check it out. He was talking a little bit about this and a lot of the other products he has. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, you know, you want to talk about supporting American and supporting small business. This guy does all this on his own. He is his own individual business, just like the mad scientist at Fly Tyer's Dungeon. Also, my buddy down at stoneflynets.com, my buddy over at cutthroatfurledleaders.com, save 15% when you use promo code Kayak. You can use that same promo code Kayak and save 15% at Dooley's Fly Shop. Also want to make sure to mention Tennessee Trailers, OutdoorAdventureTrailers.com. Those guys are great, the best toy haulers in the business. And another one-man shop, Bajuco Flats Fly Company, custom-built fly rods, always built just the way you want, satisfaction guaranteed. Guys, check out Kayak Flyer, like and subscribe to the channel here. I'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment, tell me what I did wrong or what I did right. I would really appreciate that. Make sure you download the podcast, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.